Are you ready? Thank you so much. On the 174th day of the frenzied genocide war against the Palestinian people, Gaza was before the war the greatest open-air prison. Today is the greatest open-air graveyard, a graveyard for tens of thousands of people and also graveyard for many of the most important principles of the humanitarian law. Joseph Borrell, the EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs. There is no moral argument that justifies the continued sales of weapons to Israel. Over the past 6 months, Israel has unequivocally proven that it uses the Western and foreign weapons indiscriminately against the Palestinian people. Why does the West continue to supply them? Mary Laiwar, UN Special Rapporteur and Human Rights Defenders. Palestinians in Gaza, children, women, men remain stuck in the non-stop nightmare. Communities obliterated, homes demolished, entire family and generation wiped out, with hunger and starvation stalking the population. It is monstrous that after so much suffering over so many months, Palestinians in Gaza are marking Ramadan with Israel bombs still failing, bullets still flying, artillery still pounding, and the humanitarian assistance is still facing obstacles upon obstacles. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. The strict occupation measure in Jerusalem before the start of Palm Sunday processing prevented thousands of Christians from West Bank from arriving in the holy city on this occasion. According to the Palestinian Ministry of Health, as of Sunday, March 24th, approximately 32,200 Palestinians have been killed by the Israeli occupation force. Among the victims, 72% were women, around 8,800, and children, approximately 13,750. Additionally, around 47,500 Palestinians have been injured, with the majority being women and children. It is estimated that more than 8,100 people are missing under the rubble. The Israeli occupation force targeted a Shifa hospital, resulting in injured and fatalities among patients, medical staff, and internally displaced persons seeking shelter there. At least 27 civilians, including 23 children and elderly individuals, died due to dehydration and malnutrition in Kamal Udwan Hospital in North Gaza. To add insult to the injury, the Israeli occupation used to deny the entry of an entire truckload due to the single rejected item on it, taking into consideration that there is no official Israeli list of restricted items. As of Monday, 25 March, the number of Palestinians arrested in the past 6 months are 7,770 in the occupied West Bank. This includes 250 women, including Palestinian women arrested in the 1948 land, as well as Gazan women who have been arrested in the occupied West Bank. Additionally, 500 children and 23 journalists have been sentenced to administrative detention, with more than 4,500 administrative detention orders issued. Detention campaigns are compounded by brutal beating, vandalism, destruction of detainees' house, and confiscating of gold and money. As of 20 March, up to 1.7 million Palestinians, over 75% of the population, have been displaced across the Gaza Strip, and the majority multiple times. Families are forced to move repeatedly in search for safety following intense Israeli bombardment and fighting in Khan Yunis and the Middle area. In recent weeks, Significant number of the displaced persons have moved further south. Malnutrition among children is spreading fast and reaching devastating and unprecedented level in the Gaza Strip due to the wide-reaching impact of the war and ongoing restriction and aid delivery. 4.5% of the children in shelters and health centers suffer from severe wasting, the most life-threatening from the malnutrition, which put children at highest risk of medical complication and death unless they receive urgent therapeutic feeding and treatment, which is not available. The prevalence of acute malnutrition among the children under 5 years of age in the north has increased from 13% to as high as 25%. The Israeli occupation government has issued a military order to confiscate 8,000 dunum, 1,977 acres of occupied Palestinian land for the benefit of colonial settler and settlement project. This is not the first time that fertile Palestinian land in Jordan Valley has been confiscated as part of the long-standing attempt to exert the full control over the Jordan Valley and preventing the establishment of the contiguous Palestinian state. Euromed Human Rights Monitor has documented several consistent testimonies regarding the Israeli army deliberate use of Palestinian civilians as a human shield against their will and forcing them into dangerous situation to secure and protect its forests and military operation inside the Shifa Medical Complex Inn. This has been ongoing since early Monday morning. On Friday, March 22, the United States of America presented resolution before the Security Council, which did not pass due to the veto. In this regard, and despite many other criticism, I would like to highlight the following point. So all what you hear in the media about the ceasefire resolution is spout empty word. The U.S. resolution failed to call for an immediate ceasefire. That's the Secretary of State Blinken theorized for it in the media days before table it on the Security Council as the magic stick to put an end to the humanitarian suffering in Gaza. The United States resolution fell short to condemn the ongoing Israeli massacres against the Palestinian people. Instead, it gave Israel a green light to continue its textbook genocide. The United States resolution embraced and incubated all of the Israeli claim about October 7th, even before any independent fact-finding mission or inquiry mission established by an independent intergovernmental body to come with final report in what happened on that day. The United States resolution mentioned that 132 Israeli hostages, but did not say any word about more than 7,000 abducted and hostages Palestinians in Israeli concentration camp and prisons, all of whom are subjected to torture, this degradation, and ill treatment, resulting in the death of 12 of them so far. This is a clear form of racism and white supremacy, prioritizing the life of Israeli over the life of the Palestinians. The U.S. resolution deliberately did not mention any single word in the UN body UNRWA, which is the most expert and capable body to tackle the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, in a clear complicity to support the Israeli occupation request to dismantle it. When it came to the humanitarian assistance, no one can deny the crucial role that the UNRWA played since Nakba 1948. It is important to note that United States Congress voted not to resume funding for UNRWA until at least 2025, a move welcomed by Israel, which declared that the UN agency will not be part of Gaza's future. The U.S. did not mention Israel in the occupation power except one time in the context of the two-state solution. On Monday, March 25, the Security Council adopted the resolution 2728, calling for an immediate ceasefire during the month of Ramadan. While the ink of the resolution is not yet dry, Israel cannon barrel are still firing and claiming more innocent Palestinian life. On the practical level, this means Israel has turned its back to the Security Council resolution. Israel pushed back on the UN ceasefire resolution, and the War Minister Yoav Gallant, the Israeli War Minister Yoav Gallant, said Israel has no moral right to stop the war in Gaza. The Israeli occupation authority have continued their aggression, restriction, and repressive measure in the occupied West Bank since the beginning of the holy month of Ramadan. They have deployed more than 24 military battalions there, impose a comprehensive siege, cut off ties with partial siege on all regions and towns, deployed over 750 checkpoints, installed more iron gates, and forced citizens to travel in bumpy roads that consume their time and money. This has turned Palestinian life into an unbearable hell. In another step towards dismantling UNRWA, the main lifeline for Palestinian refugees, and obstructing the implementation of its mandate, Israel has the occupying power has blocked UNRWA from delivering life-saving assistance to northern Gaza. Israel has notified the United Nations that it will no longer authorize UNRWA food convey to access the North Gaza Strip. UNRWA is the largest organization with the highest capacity to reach displaced communities in Gaza. By preventing UNRWA to fulfill its mandate in Gaza, the clock is ticking faster towards famine, and many more will be died of hunger, dehydration, and lack of shelter. I thank you so much. When you say a major shift, when you use the word major, this is something that we cannot accept. There is a shift. We believe that there is an inflection point, there is a shift, but this is not major shift, because all of you remember that the United States of America was used the veto 5 times during the last 6 months, or during the last 5.5 months. 3 times to block or to veto resolution, 1 time to block amendment or to drop to take off an amendment, and 1 veto for a statement after the flower massacres, that conducted by the Israeli occupation against the Palestinians in Gaza. So that even with to have a Security Council statement, the United States of America used the veto. But what has happened last time? United States of America did not use the veto, but meanwhile this resolution was not implemented on the ground, and the representative of the United States in the Security Council itself was in her statement after the adoption of the resolution mentioned that some word which give the green light to the Israeli to continue its word, and connecting the implementation, when she connected the implementation of this resolution to the release of the hostages, so that without releasing of the hostages, according to the United States, according to the ambassador of the United States in the United Nations, this resolution have no meaning. So that no, we believe that this is a significant resolution, but when it came to its impact on the ground, it was adopted last Monday, and since Monday till now more than 300 plus Palestinians was killed. Israeli still bombarding Gaza. Israel is still launching many attacks by air, by sea, and by ground air against the Palestinians in Gaza Strip. So theoretically speaking, it's good resolution, but in the practical, it has no meaning. This is not the first resolution. Thank you so much, of course, for your question. This is not the first resolution that adopted by the Security Council or the General Assembly or by the ECOSOC or any other UN bodies. There is tens, if not thousands, of resolutions that adopted in the United Nations, and all of these resolutions, especially the first ever resolution that was adopted, and the birth certificate for Israel, which is Resolution 181. When Israel, when this resolution adopted in 29 of September 1947, Israel took part of this resolution and adopted part of this resolution when it when it was established in 78% of the historical land of Palestine instead of 54% as it is designated to it in this resolution. Then the other part of the resolution, Israel turned it back to it. After that resolution, there is another significant resolution called 194, which called for the the Palestinian refugee to go back to their homes. Israel also put all the barriers and not implemented this resolution, so that when it came to the United Nations resolution, Israel did not adopt any one of those resolutions since it was established, so that when it came to the very last resolution, 227-28, as you all following in the ground, killing of the Palestinians is still going on. Meanwhile, while they are adopting of the resolution and they are voting in the resolution, the Israeli killing machine was still harvesting and claiming the Palestinian innocent soul, tens of Palestinian innocent soul.